Top 7 high-performance cars no one talks about. The Bugatti Veyron. We're sure you know what that is, but what are the similarities between Bugatti Veyron and the Saleen S7? Well, they are both cars. Thank you very much, Captain Obvious. But do you know that the Saleen 7 is just as fast as the Veyron? Hey guys, and welcome to Autoverse. Today we are taking to the world of the unknowns. It's nothing mysterious, it's just the top 7 high-performance cars no one talks about. This one is special. Saleen S7. We start with the Saleen S7. Keep your fingers crossed, we'll get to the speed and its comparison to a Bugatti Veyron in just a minute. But here's the background story that might explain why this car is on the list. Steve Saleen, the inspiration behind the Saleen S7, was part of Ford's manufacturing team for many years. He had a hand in many of your favorite Fords, both the expensive ones and the easily affordable Fords. After great success, Saleen decided it was time to make his supercars. A few years later, Saleen decided it was time for an upgrade, and voila! We have the Saleen S7 Twin Turbo as a mid-engine 7.0 liter V8 model. Incredible with its 6-speed manual transmission generating up to 1,000 horsepower. The downside was that Saleen could not replicate or afford the Ford's fame and fortune. We'd like to see you say that without twisting your tongue. Anyways, fewer than 100 of these cars were made, and even fewer had a competitive package. But the high-spec Saleen S7 could achieve 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds with its rear-wheel drive, making it as fast as the Bugatti Veyron. The S7 LM trim, capable of a 298 mph top speed, was supposed to be the highlight of 2017. But guess what? It was never made. And that sums up the Saleen story. TVR Griffith. The TVR Griffith is an analog featherweight sports car that peaked for top glory in the 1990s. The founder Trevor Wilkinson and co-founder Jack Picard made it a priority to design sports with lightweight features. The goal is to make them incredibly fast and nimble. They were high performance with zero driver aids, packing potent inline 6 and V8 engines. You should note that TVR is a short form for the founder's first name, Trevor. Now that we have stated the obvious, let's talk more about this car. It has a 5.0 liter engine and a 6-speed manual transmission to aid the driving experience. The Griffith is estimated to achieve 0 to 60 mph in 3.5 seconds. This lightweight rear-wheel drive supercar produced 500 horsepower. A huge number then. A new Griffith is set to come out in 2024. It is teased to be another lightweight with a front engine and rear-wheel drive. While it is expected to go into various garages, we hope it doesn't go under the radar. TVR has been in and out of bankruptcy for a couple of times. Let's see if they manage to survive this time. 9FF GT9. The 9FF GT9 is our next high-performance car on the list. Join us for a ride to Dortmund in Germany in this car, where we meet 9FF Fahrzeugtechnik. We hope we called that right. We meet a tuner that focuses on Porsche models. Yes, the supercars that are Porsche. After years of great impact, this tuner decides to make his car. You could be sure it was going to be a high-performance car, but maybe, just maybe, the 9FF GT9 was inspired by the Porsche 997. But you'd have to be a keen detective to see the inspiration. There were variations and trim levels for this car. You have the high-grade GT9R for high power output. The GT9 CS focused its features on the track, making it faster and lighter. But here are some impressive details about this car. The GT9 is a 3.6 to 4.2 liter twin-turbo mid-engine depending on the version. You have 3 transmission options: the 5-speed Tiptronic Auto, the 6-speed manual, and the 6-speed sequential. All models are rear-wheel drive and can achieve the 0 to 60 mark in just 3 seconds. The power output varied from 738 to 1,380 horsepower. Honestly, we have no idea why this car is not a bit more popular. Some versions had a top speed of 250 mph, and some had a top speed of 272 mph. An example is the GT9 VMAX. Did you say wow? Yeah, we said the same. Noble M Falcon F7. Falcon F7 is American. We can only wonder where they got that name. But sounds like that winged superhero that later became Captain America. But we digress. Let's talk about the F7. Where do we start from? Yes, let's start with the fact that this car resembles the Chevrolet Corvette in terms of specs and performance. It's not surprising when you realize that Lingenfelter assembled the F7 engine. He is a popular name in the Corvette world, and he did it all by hand. Must be why the car was in production for a longer part of the 2010s. The huge 7-liter V8 engine is the same as the Chevrolet Corvette. This high-performance car is another rear-wheel drive on the list with a 6-speed manual transmission. With an output of 620 horsepower and 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.3 seconds, this car will get you to the crime scene faster than that winged superhero could ever fly. He definitely needs an upgrade to those wings. Speaking of upgrades, the manufacturing company of the F7 offers a twin-turbo kit that could increase the power to 1,100 horsepower. Now that is some power. Some refer to the F7 as the kit car, and we will never understand why. Another plus is that this car takes a bit of inspiration from the Ford GT. By the way, only 7 of these cars were made. Sounds mystical, right? There are only 7 of the Falcon F7. Bristol Fighter. This next car takes us back to the British automaker's world. In this world, we see a classic car with neo-retro styling. You have the gull-wing doors and the 2-piece rear glass combined to give you a feel similar to the Alfa Romeo TZ3. The bespoke chassis on this car is made of welded steel and aluminum. It holds the Dodge Viper's V10 engine. Does that sound like a 1990s car to you? We're sure it does. But it's interesting to note that this is a car from the 2000s. The 8.0-liter V10 engine directs all power to the rear wheel. The power ranges from 525 to 628 horsepower. This fighter gives you the 6-speed manual or the 4-speed auto options. The 0 to 60 miles per hour means it's fast too. The standard version of the Bristol Fighter can reach a top speed of 210 miles per hour. That is more than fast. Unfortunately, this company has lost its originality over the years. The intellectual rights to the brand were purchased recently, and manufacturing options will resume soon. Note that only 9 or 14 of these cars were built. These are indicators that the changes will lead to assembling a more powerful Fighter S. Will the Bristol Fighter be able to fight for more popularity? Let's see how much of a fighter it is. Next is our number 1 on the list, but before we reveal what's behind the curtains, here are some honorable mentions. Most likely it won't, but let's see if any of them ring a bell. The American supercar Mosler MT900 from the gone and forgotten Mosler Automotive. A supercar with 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds, producing between 350 to 600 horsepower with a 6-speed manual transmission and a 7-liter V8 engine. The RUF CTR3 is a car that started as a combination of Porsche parts. It is a rear-wheel drive car with a 3.7-liter turbo twin flat 8 engine achieving 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. GTA Spano. And for our number 1 ladies and speedsters, we give you the GTA Spano. No, not the game, not the game. The GTA Spano results from a long dream of Domingo Ochoa, the Spania GTA competition racing team director. This car featured an 8.0-liter V10 engine with a mid-engine layout. All powers to the rear wheel had a 7-speed manual or 7-speed auto as transmission options. With 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds, it's a wonder that this high performance is not a popular topic in the automobile world. But it's not exactly unpopular. The car is featured in racing games such as Asphalt, Forza, Horizon, and Need for Speed. You can have the engine option as either supercharged with a top speed of 217 miles per hour or a twin turbocharged with a top speed of 230 miles per hour. And yes, this car is a supercar from Spain. It never really got the much needed wave. Such pain in Spain. By the way, only 99 units of the Spano were ever built. If we say only 100 were built, does that count as an exaggeration? We'll let you decide. Thank you for joining us on this unknown trip talking about cars no one talks about. Guess we're not no one. You surely enjoyed that, so subscribe to Autoverse for more exciting car content. Hit like, share an unknown supercar in the comments, and stay tuned for our next trip. Keep cruising quietly with Autoverse. We will be back.